and More Spirit takes over coming past the wire. It will be More Spirit to win the Los Alamitos Futurity by a length and a half.
This is just an unbelievable day for Bob Baffert and Mike Smith. They are unstoppable. More Spirit has dominated the Met Mile. He won it by 7 lengths.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Spa Babies, presented by Spendthrift. I'm Dan Illman, along with Nicole Russo, and let's take a look at race number 6 at Saratoga on Friday, kicking off a 50-cent late pick 5. It is an overflow field of 2-year-old fillies. They are New York breds, and they are going 5.5 furlongs on the main track. A really evenly matched bunch, Nicole. You have 2 experienced horses that ran well in their debut, but also have first-time starters. Pletcher, Brown, Maker, and other top trainers. What a fun race.
It's a really fun race at Overflow Field, as you mentioned, and I think a really eclectic group of horses. Yes, they're all New York breds, but they're by stallions standing all over the place. Some experienced sires, some freshman sires, a number of different trainers, different connections, different levels of experience in these horses, not just the 2 who have started versus the majority who have not, but some different types of work tabs in here to dig into. It's a really fun puzzle of a race.
The number 1 is Rigby, trained by Michael Maker. This is a daughter of Brethren. Lots of turf in this pedigree. A full sister to a turf stakes winner. The dam was grade 3 placed routing on the turf, but this one does have 3 bullet workouts since May the 1st. It's going to have to break running from the rail.
Absolutely. And, those bullets come in a very long work tab that I think has probably given this filly some nice foundation. Brethren, a very good 2-year-old sire down in Florida from the family of Super Saver and others. I do wonder if this one will just get her feet wet here, especially with that rail drawn, and if she'll show up on turf a bit later in the meet. As you mentioned, some turf breeding, and Mike Maker certainly known for his turf runners.
The number 2 is Let Her Inspire You, and talk about a great pinhook. $90,000 yearling selling all the way up to $500,000 in March after breezing a furlong at that sale in 10 2/5 by first crop sire Practical Joke, who's gotten off to a great start with his firsters.
A terrific start, and certainly Practical Joke had every right to be a good 2-year-old sire. He's a son of leading sire Into Mischief, who sort of first emerged as a good juvenile sire before taking over the general sire list. Into Mischief has made a very good start with his first son to stud, Golden Sense. Practical Joke, one of the standouts in the group of younger stallions coming up for him. A multiple grade 1 winner around 1 turn, multiple grade 1 winner as a 2-year-old around 1 turn, a really impressive physical specimen. As I said, every right to be a good 2-year-old sire. The way his horses have sold and have run have backed that up. And this one debuts for Pletcher with Velasquez aboard.
Succulent is the number 3. I really like the stamina over speed in this pedigree by stalwart stallion Candy Ride. Succulent is a half-sister to a stakes-placed turf sprinter, a $47,000 yearling buyback. The dam was a multiple stakes-placed sprinter. The second dam won her debut at 2 and went on to win a stakes race as a mile. So a real nice mixture here.
Yeah, definitely stamina over speed here. Lots of 2-year-old form in the family. Sometimes the Candy Rides do come around, I think, a bit later in the season and with some experience. But this is another one with a long, solid work tab to give her some foundation.
One of the 2 experienced horses in the race is next, the 4 Canturi Love. And if you take a look at this DRF formulator fact, you're going to expect this horse to improve second time out for Christophe Clement. Just take a look. 4 for the last 6 with over a $12 return on investment with 2-year-old second-time starters in maiden special dirt sprints. And as we look at Can't Hurry Love's pedigree, this horse has a really nice mixture of speed over stamina. By Cantharos, the dam's a half to bonus points, a multiple stakes winner, and a long-winded one at that from the family of Include. And this horse didn't figure out the gate in her debut, but ran on at the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think if she breaks better, it puts her right in the mix here. Certainly encouraging that Rosario stays aboard. You mentioned Cantheros, a terrific 2-year-old sire. He was a terrific 2-year-old himself in his brief career, an 18% 2-year-old sire. A lot to like here.
Tough Streets up next. First-time starter trained by Chad Brown. This is a daughter of Speightster, who's been through the auction ring twice. $22,000 as a weanling, $37,000 as a yearling by the good debut sire Speightster.
Yeah, Speightster by Speightstown. Again, you look at that and you think speed. Speightster was a graded stakes winner around one turn himself over a Freud mare. Freud just terrific. Everything you ask him to do in New York, dirt sire, turf sire, broodmare sire. And this one, another one with a nice long work tab and a local work tab for Chad Brown.
Classic Miss is up next. That's the number 6 by first crop sire Classic Empire, who of course was a 2-year-old champion. We expect him to be good with his 2-year-olds. He has not disappointed. 4 for his first 12 with juvenile debut runners.
Yeah, and Classic Empire, as you mentioned, he's a juvenile champion. He's by Pioneer of the Nile. You remember Classic Empire maybe for winning the Breeders' Cup Juvenile and running second in the Preakness, but he was a very good, quick, early 2-year-old, winning early on, sprinting at Churchill Downs, performing well in the Bashford Manor. He could sprint as well as, turning in those long distance performances that wrapped up his championship. And his offspring can certainly sprint as well, running very well so far. You cross him over an Indian Charlie mare, and Indian Charlie has really emerged as a broodmare sire just in the last year or two. He's got the likes of Matoli, Hot Rod Charlie, Day Out of the Office, Frank's Rocket out of his daughters, a lot of quick horses as well.
November Rain, the number 7, is up next. This filly is bred both sides for speed, and she came very close to the Beyer par for this level in her debut, earning a 66 Beyer. Let's watch that race right now. First out for trainer Kelly Breen, showing good speed. She was on the outside on the turn. She cleared off down towards the rail. She's really going to fight hard, and she's just going to miss by a neck. With this experience, it's going to make her very, very tough against a field mostly of first-time starters.
Absolutely. And I like the fight that she showed while just getting beaten there after showing good speed. Street Boss, a very quick son of Street Cry. This whole sire line does well with its 2-year-olds.
Dufresne is up next. This one's been training down at Fair Hill for Michael Trombetta. She is a daughter of Uncaptured, who sold for $62,000 as a yearling. The dam is a half to several nice horses, including Remsen winner O Prado again.
Yeah, and this one, you see the statistic there that Uncaptured is a 9% first-time starting sire. He was a Canadian champion as a 2-year-old. I really expected him to have a bit of a higher percentage. A lot of different things in this pedigree, some sprint, some route, some dirt, some turf. This one, I wonder if they'll be content to sort of take their time with, get some experience here, and then come back later on for a stronger performance.
Amore Fire, the number 9, is up next. First-time starter by Lao Ban. This one sold for $40,000 a few months ago. She is a half-sister to a juvenile stakes-placed dirt sprinter. Again, a little bit of versatility in this pedigree.
Some versatility, and man, this is the second crop for Leban, who's the son of Uncle Mo, whose first crop, came out running last year. He had a grade 1 winner and several other stakes performers in his first crop while standing in New York. And, he was near the top of the national freshman sire list, despite having fewer runners than the other stallions on the list who were Kentucky based. He had such success that he was sort of quote unquote called up, to the big leagues in Kentucky for this coming year, and unfortunately passed away, after standing a season at Windstar Farm, dying suddenly. But you would really expect him to have continued success with his New York sired 2-year-olds, and certainly this one, sort of looking at her over another successful 2-year-old, Grand Slam, the broodmare sire. And then this one picks up Javier Castellano on debut, despite the fact that he's been aboard, another horse in this race previously. I think there's, quite a few positive signs for this filly.
And the last filly entered in the body of the race is the 10 Saratoga Chrome by the always popular stallion California Chrome. This horse sold for $117,000 as a weanling, a $115,000 buyback as a yearling. Lots of synthetic influences. The dam is thrown already. Has to deal with an outside post. Has a bullet workout on dirt 2 back.
Yeah, and some of the California Chrome runners have run well first out, but some of those debut wins in that 10% have come on smaller circuits, which does affect the statistics. I do think some of his runners have done better with experience, and I think this filly might fall in that category with the outside post in this full field.
Let's take a look at our top picks for race number 6. We kick off the late pick 5. Again, we urge you, watch the board. If a Pletcher first-time starter or a Brown first-time starter takes money, well, that's not that interesting. We expect them to, but perhaps if one of these more low-profile trainers' horses take money, that's something to consider. We don't have a low-profile trainer, Nicole. We're going Pletcher. Let her inspire you. We hope the practical joke train keeps rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. As I said, practical joke by Into Mischief, every right to be a good 2-year-old sire. Pletcher, Velasquez. As you said, watch the board. I think, some of the other horses I'm using in the mix here, particularly Amori Fire, might fly under the radar and give you a bit of a price. I will note that if Curly Girl were to draw in off the also eligibles, I would take a look at her for some of the exotics. Bit of a sneaky good work tab at Finger Lakes, and she's bred for 2-year-old success. Last year's champion freshman sire Nyquist over a Forest Wildcat mare.
So 2649 for Nicole, 2741 for me. It's Friday Spa Babies presented by Spendthrift. Best of luck.